Welcome back. In this series of breadcrumbs leading up to the Bea World Festival in December, we have interviews with giants of the industry. And today, our guest is Jaap in de Maur, founder of Masters in Moderation. Welcome to the new stage, TJ.
Thank you, Hans. Happy to be referred to as one of the giants of the industry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
What does the new stage look like for you in your business today?
Well, today it's mainly online. Although we are getting back locally in Holland to the stage again, but it's a lot of online. And the stage is kind of changing by the day. That is what is happening. The new stage is something else every morning, and that's a challenge.
Okay, and in the past 1.5 years, you've been on different stages, in different settings as well. If we look at some images of these stages, what is something that strikes you?
Well, probably you would see me and my colleagues sitting behind screens a lot, like you do now. You would also see us calling a lot of clients, kind of discussing what it means to go online, or at this point in time, what it means to go hybrid. So a lot of talks, a lot of sitting down, contemplating, thinking, trying to find new ways of doing what we did before, but then on a new stage. Maybe once or twice a month, a little panic.
Why panic?
Well, I mean, 1.5 years ago, the agenda was completely emptied from one day to another. So there was this short moment of, oh dear, what is happening here and what should we do now? And then we picked up and everyone in the industry started thinking and talking and discussing, etc. And I think the industry should be very proud of how quickly we achieved to find new ways and to change what we did for so long.
Maybe the panic was helpful every now and then. But you talk about discussions with your client. Is it because the client was in panic, or did you have to convince the client that there were methods to do the business maybe as usual or maybe in a new way?
Well, both. Clients panicked or just froze and didn't know what to do. So we reached out to them and we talked to them and we kind of comfort them and try to make them more comfortable in this new stage. And then, yes, helping them find ways to how to perform on a new stage. Constantly explaining to them what it means to be online or what it means to be hybrid. Trying to convince them not to do what we did, but just on a different medium.
No literal translation of what you did in the physical attendance with the audience?
Absolutely. People were kind of inclined to kind of copy their on-stage program to online. And we're not looking into what the specifics are of a new medium, of this new stage.
But your business is moderation, so moderation is moderation. If it's on stage or if it's online, that stays the same, right?
Yeah, the basic rules are the same, but the way that you apply those rules are thoroughly different on stage and online and hybrid.
Okay.
It is. I mean, one example: if you walk on a stage. It is immediately clear that I'm the moderator because they are in the room and I'm on stage. When you go on screen, I mean, if we would both shut up now and your backdrop would not say moderator.
This helps, right?
Yeah, that helps. Then people will not know who the moderator is because we are all the same. Same goes for being a group. I mean, in a room, in a physical room, people are more automatically part of a group than they are online, because online you're just at home being an individual watching a screen, and that changes the way that we need to moderate.
Okay, and can you maybe you can say that it's a completely different stage, or is it a stage that you have to enter in a new way?
Yeah, it's as I said, the basic rules are the same. The only thing you need to do is to find out how those rules apply on that new stage. But the stage is not, we did not move to Mars. We only moved from Holland to Canada. It is a small change of environment. And
only in those small moments of panic we thought we were moved to hell.
But yeah, absolutely, yeah, and beyond. And as soon as you find out that it's adjusting rather than completely changing, that is comforting.
Okay, but then you, I think, also need to change the way in which you design the programs.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to say that I found that clients are more open to design than they used to be before.
Okay.
Because when we were on stage, people thought, okay, we know the drill. And then they had to go online, and then they thought, oh shit, we know nothing. And then they started putting more time into design because they knew nothing. And I'm kind of hoping that when we go back to stage again, or when we go back to the hybrid environment, we will see a change from organizing by default, the same program every time, to organizing by design.
So maybe we can say that the designing of a program is equally important now as it was before the pandemic, but now there's more attention for it. There's more focus on it.
Yeah, absolutely, because we were working by default and not by design in many cases. And I'm kind of hoping that now that we move to another stage again, because we can be on stage or online or hybrid, that we will not be doing our programs by default, but sitting down designing, which kind of is conflicting with the fact that in the market at this point in time, I see that people organize on a last minute basis, because everything is uncertain. We can't be sure whether we will be on stage or online or hybrid even next month.
And what restrictions will be there?
Yeah, and what restrictions will be there, how people will feel about coming to a physical environment, anything. And because we do not know where we will be in a few weeks' time, I feel that our clients are kind of postponing decision making, which is conflicting with the need for thorough design.
Okay, and how can you help your clients in that situation? Can you make a plan A and a plan B, for instance?
Yeah, absolutely. And what we can do is make no plan. If there is a meeting planned, let's say in 3 or 4 or 5 months, we should start designing, but designing in a very flexible way so that we can constantly adjust to the current status.
Okay.
But we should design. We should start thinking about what should our event or our meeting look like.
I think for some clients that could be a bit confusing because they have to send out their invitations, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely. And that gives hard decisions. But by working in a very lean and agile way, I think we can cope with the constant uncertainty, because I think the uncertainty will be with us for a very long time.
Okay.
And even when everything settles down again, there always will be the range of choices, because in the past we were on stage, period. And now we will always have to make the choice: on stage, online, hybrid. And if we go hybrid, what shape of hybrid? Because hybrid can mean a million things.
What does it mean in your definition?
Well, there is no definition. I mean, my basic definition is part of the participants are there physically and part of the participants are there online.
Okay.
But even when that is your basic idea, there's 100 or 1,000 ways of doing that. Because should they be online and on stage at the same time, or at split times? Should they meet or not? There is, I mean, the more buttons you have, the more options you have of switching the buttons and making new combinations.
Yeah, and all depending on the goal of the meeting, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you look at this future, you say it can be confusing. There will be a long period of time in which things are still confusing until that pandemic is over. But it's also a range of choices. So what would be the keywords for the future of the new stage?
Keywords would be open to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Fill up your toolbox and choose wisely. Don't panic.
What could be in the toolbox? Give us a few examples.
Give us a few examples. In the toolbox could be that you do more smaller meetings instead of one big one.
Okay.
In the toolbox could be that you do regional meetings. Mm-hmm. In the toolbox could be, which I find an interesting solution, multi-hub meetings, where all over the world small groups are together physically, and you design a program where they can do stuff together physically, but they can also be connected online with each other.
Sounds like a nice option for the Bea World Award show. If we can be there in Milano together.
Yeah, I would love people to watch the award show in hubs and be together, and as a hub watch the award show. That would be great, because we would all feel then the power of being together physically, and we could feel the power of being together as one Bea World community, all being together online and giving away some awards to some brilliant projects.
That would be great. Yeah. And all that in anticipation of the time, which will it come? Maybe that's a question. Will there be a time in which we can meet each other again in large groups? What do you think?
Yes, partly the time is already there. I mean, in some countries, people are meeting in large groups, but nationally, will we meet again in large groups internationally? Yeah, absolutely. And I think it will happen. I mean, America is now allowing people to travel into America. So we might meet at IMEX America or meetings like that. So yes, we will. Having said that, the option will always be not to meet in person. So I think that from now on, we will always have to have some options for people who do not want to travel, or who are not able to travel because of agenda topics or because of whatever reason, and still want to attend a meeting or part of a meeting. And it's interesting. I mean, some meetings I would not travel for it because it will take 2 or 3 or 4 days out of my schedule.
Okay.
But there will be some sessions there that are interesting for me. So
you always have this choice. You can always make the choice yourself, as an organizer and as a participant of a meeting. Yeah. This leads us up to the next question, JJ. Did this pandemic lead to a kind of evolution for your business, specifically for your business, and which aspects are permanently changed?
Well, I mean, we will permanently moderate both on stage and online and hybrid, which is a real change in the way that we do business, because we used to be physical figures on a stage, and now we have to be able to do anything. And I think business-wise, if you look at our team of moderators, they are mainly Dutch because we originate from the Netherlands. And there are some really great international moderators part of our team. But in the future, I think we'll need to have more moderators that are locally or regionally based, because participants will not travel all the time, probably moderators will not travel all across the world for a few years. So that means that where in the past people could call us and one of the moderators would travel from the Netherlands to Canada or to wherever they needed us, we will now need to have moderators based in every country around the world. So we need to look at the future as an agency and change our ways.
Okay. And do you like this new future? Do you like this outlook on the future?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like any new challenge. I mean, if you would have asked me to sign up for the past 1.5 years, probably I would have said no, thank you.
Mhm.
But if you look back at 1.5 years, never in my life, I guess, maybe with the exception of the first 1.5 years of my life, never in my life have I learned so much in such a short period of time.
Okay, so
And that is brilliant. That gives energy. That is refreshing.
you compare it to learning to talk and to walk and to stand again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it has been a very stressful period to some degree. I know that to some people this must have been a horrible time, because if you build stages or a lighting company or whatever, I mean, it must have been a horrible time. But for us moderators, it has been a challenging but refreshing time, because there was still work for us, a lot of work for us, and we needed to find out how to perform best on that new stage.
I understand. And in one of the later breadcrumbs, we will also talk to the people from the AV companies and hear what they have experienced in the past period. So if you would give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or maybe a thumbs in a neutral, what would it be? The new stage?
The thumbs up, to me, double thumbs.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, it was a painful process getting there, but the new stage is so much more promising, creative, flexible, communicative, experiential, etc., that we should celebrate this new stage and dive in like a madman and kind of, well, find out how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, JJ. And there's a last question. We are compiling a Spotify playlist for these breadcrumbs leading up to the Bea World Festival. What would be your contribution to that playlist?
I could think of many songs for that playlist, but I'm going to go for "Roll with the Changes" by REO Speedwagon.
Okay.
Because I like the title in this
REO
era.
Speedwagon is on the list now. Thank you very much, JJ. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you at our next breadcrumb. And please subscribe to this channel if you are looking at on the YouTube channel of Bea World Festival. And of course, I hope to see you at the Bea World Festival itself in December. See you then. Bye-bye.